You all get paid the same amount, so don't work too hard. Hello, all my first years out there. What's up? How you doing? Welcome to Japan. We're so excited to have you here. So today, I'm going to be giving y'all some advice. My name's Tispora, and I've been living in Japan for 5 years. I'm going into my super golden Pikachu year. Hey. Yeah, 6 years. I'm cheering, but in reality, some advice I wish that I knew as a first year, if I were to go back and tell my first year self some little pieces of advice that would have helped me, that would have saved me some time and energy. And don't be afraid to ask questions. Because in Japan, yes means no and no means yes. People have such an indirect way of communicating that we're not so familiar with. And so it's important to get used to and to understand and just keep your eyes and ears open for that style. Like, for example, you have an idea and you want to share that idea with the teacher, and maybe they're just like, maybe that's difficult, or ちょっと難しいyeah, if they're saying things like that, that's probably a no. So when you have new ideas, just slowly try to, just don't stop. Just slowly trying to push for your ideas, and maybe slowly your teachers will open up. Assumptions about classes or the school scheduling, because it's always changing, or like class locations, that's always changing too. So make sure you're always asking, like, how can I help, or what can I do to be useful, or do you need help with that, or what's the schedule looking like today, what can I expect from this class, or what is my role for this class. I think it's very important to ask these questions so you can know what your expectations are, and you can also let your teachers know what you can provide as well. Also, travel often, but not too often, you know. Listen to your body, listen to your mind. I know in my first 3 years, I was bopping around. I think I visited over, 10 countries or something. I was everywhere. And it gets a little exhausting sometimes. Your body exhausted and your wallet is exhausted too. Like, your body always knows better than your mind. So be social and make friends with many people, especially, or even more so, at work, because this is where you're going to be most of the time, and obviously outside of work as well. And I know in Japan, it can be really hard to make friends with Japanese. Japanese people, they tend to be just really busy with work, and they also stick to like the same friend group circles. So sometimes it can be very difficult to sort of like insert yourself. But I find that by getting involved with your community, whether it's joining community events that you find on Facebook, or whether it's with groups like Opal or block events, AJET block events, eikaiwas. There are lots of old people in Japan speaking and learning English, and they want to talk to you. So like in many big cities, or maybe even in your local city, there's probably an English conversation group that you can get involved with, or even your international association. In my city, Yamagasaki and Nishinomiya, both have international associations that I've been able to take part in, learn and take Japanese classes in, take Japanese cultural classes, like learning how to cook and trying on kimonos and modeling and stuff. But yeah, you can engage in those activities and meet many people that way as well. It's very important because it can get very isolating, especially if you're in the Anaka and you can feel very disconnected to people. And especially if you're the only ALT at your school, it can be very hard to connect with teachers on a deeper level. And especially if you don't know or understand Japanese, it can be really tough. So I just want to encourage y'all to really get out there, put yourself out there. Even when you're afraid, even when you're anxious, do it anyways, because you won't regret it. I think this is the most important tip when it comes to the workplace, is set appropriate boundaries. Know what you can and cannot handle. The first year, it's going to be a lot of trial and error. It's going to be a lot of figuring out what you can do and in what capacity you can work, and just figuring out your role and your space in this new school. At my school, we have an English debate club. And with English debate, the students stay after school and they practice debating. And I remember in my first 2 years, I had to stay after school every day for maybe 2 or 3 months, like staying after school, not for just like 30 minutes, but like for hours, like 2, 3, even 4 hours, staying after school, helping these kids out. And it got too much. It was absolutely too much. And I think teachers sometimes expect us to stay after school because after all, we are teachers. But we don't have to hold ourselves to that same standard that Japanese people hold each other to. I think it's very important to not get burnt out, because you can really get burnt out really easily on this job if you do not have appropriate boundaries and if you don't have many connections with people at your job. But I think as far as setting boundaries, know when you can and cannot stay after school. It's okay to say no. You don't have to say yes all the time. People like myself, we love to and we tend to put people before our own self and our own needs. And so if you're that type of person, please be very aware of this and know where you have to say no. I cannot stay after school. Can we do it during lunchtime? Can we do it on another day during my working hours? Can we not do it after school? Because according to my contract, I cannot stay after school. It's okay to say that. It's okay to pull out the contract. That's why it's there. You know, Japan has the standard of punctuality when it comes to starting things on time and ending things on time. But the exception is when it comes to leaving work. You will never see any teacher leaving work on time. And remember, you're not getting paid overtime work. You don't have to stay. You don't have to stay. Know yourself. You don't got to stay. You can use that time to be productive elsewhere. It's okay. So I think when things get really tough, it's important to know your why. Why did you come to Japan? What were you trying to discover within yourself? What were you trying to discover outside of yourself? What were you trying to explore about Japanese culture? What did you want to learn about Japanese culture? Did you want to learn the Japanese language? Did you want to try some traditional Japanese musical instruments? Whatever it was, whatever your purpose was for coming here, do it. Don't forget it and do it. It sort of gives you a goal. It gives you something to improve on. It gives you something to look forward to and something to work hard for. And I think especially on this jet journey, it's important to work on improving yourself, work on improving your teaching style and your communication style, and just being adjustable and flexible when it comes to that. Learning how to communicate with the kids at school. That's something you have to learn how to do and what works for you. It's not going to click the first year or the second year, maybe not even the third year. Like, it's something you have to learn on how to communicate and how to connect. And I think the easiest way to connect is by learning the students' names. Learn the students' names, giving them your own cute nickname, and just being silly with them, and just having fun, really. Just being curious and just having fun and being genuine and just wanting to know about someone else's life. So, like, when it comes to communicating in lessons, it's important to have, that eye contact and really just looking at the students and observing a lot of their facial expressions, because you will learn what it looks like when students can understand or cannot understand. Usually when you ask questions to a Japanese classroom, like, do you understand? Incorporate some Japanese into your lessons too, little by little, because students can sense your interest, and when they see you practicing Japanese in the classroom and see you learning a new language and see you taking up space and opening up, it gives them the confidence to do the same. It gives them the confidence to make mistakes too. When you make mistakes with your Japanese, I find that students also feel more comfortable making mistakes in English. AG, my coworker, she often like practices writing hiragana on or katakana on the board, and she often makes mistakes, and like students really just really start cracking up when she makes mistakes. Shows that openness and vulnerability with your students, and just showing them it's okay to make mistakes. But yeah, I hope you got something out of this video. Let me know what you think about my advice, and if you like this advice and want to hear more, just give me a cheeky like and a cheeky subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye.